So you've come out of this tunnel for 14 years now. What does it feel like to look at this when you come out?
That's exciting. I mean, from the first day I got here and kind of took the tour and you looked around the stadium, I mean, none of this was here. That scoreboard was a lot smaller there, the Jumbotron. Favre's name wasn't up there yet, but you just understood the history when you started looking at Dave Robinson, Forrest Gregg, Willie Wood, James Lofton. You come over here, you got Ron Wolf, Canadeo, Hudson, Lambeau, Lombardi, Willie Davis, Ray Niskey, Bart Starr. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the game, the history of the game. I grew up watching old VHS tapes of Super Bowl highlights, and who was in them? The Green Bay Packers. You know, the story about Max getting drunk the night before the first Super Bowl, catching, you know, the one-handed catch to start the scoring. You know, obviously the history of the amazing games that have been played here at Lambeau. You know, the Ice Bowl obviously comes to mind, but yeah, I mean, never gets old running out of that tunnel. And now, you know, with some of the renovations, it's even more special.
So you've got Curly Lambeau, Don Hudson, Vince Lombardi, Bart Starr, Brett Favre. That was the first century of Packers football, and now it's Aaron Rodgers to lead them in the next century. Is that a little wow to you?
It's definitely wow. I mean, I don't take that for granted. I mean, when you realize how many great players have played here and been a part of the history of excellence in this culture and on this organization, it's pretty special. I mean, like I said, I know how special it is to play here, the history of the Green Bay Packers, 100 years of football. Yeah, it's pretty special. But you know, it'd be fun one day to have my name up there somewhere.
I think it might happen.
We'll see.
So we're going to just stand right here for a second. Here's the goal line, all right? And here is the spot right here where Bart Starr went behind Jerry Kramer to score one of the most legendary touchdowns in NFL history, the most important touchdown in Packer history. What do you know about that touchdown in the Ice Bowl?
Well, I know that they were trying to run a little dive play and they couldn't get any footing with the backs. They tried a couple times, came over. I like to think that, you know, Bart tells the story, just run the damn play, you know, just run it.
Well, that was Lombardi, right? Lombardi said, hey,
yeah,
just
Lombardi,
run the damn play.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing was, if they don't get in, they probably lose the game 17-14. They could have kicked a field goal and forced overtime, but Lombardi just thought it was too cold. He couldn't do it to these poor fans.
I like it that he didn't tell everybody what the play was.
Yeah.
You know, because I've done.
So Bart's in the huddle and he didn't say anything about what the play. He just called the play. He didn't say, I'm taking it.
He didn't say he was going to take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the play. You know, a little ad lib there. That's nice.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the biggest plays in Packer history.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when you think about this play, I mean, is this something that guys who play for the Packers know how big a deal that Bart Starr is?
I mean, I don't know anymore. I did when I got to the team. You know, I knew about the 90s teams. I knew about the 60s teams from watching those old VHS tapes. But it's different, you know, it's a different game. I mean, I think you appreciate when you walk out here, but, you know, I'm one of the old hats now. So you look up and I don't know if anybody knows who Reggie White is. You probably know who Brett Favre is, but Reggie White or Bart Starr, or who's Jim Taylor, you know. We show these videos sometimes when we're playing like a rivalry game to show the history, how long, like this week against the Bears, how long the history, you know, of this rivalry has existed. But I've always had a great appreciation for the guys who came before us and kind of laid the groundwork to what the game is today. And a lot of them are Packers. I mean, the trophy is named after Vince Lombardi, who got his fame coaching here, especially in the 60s. You know, we've had some legendary players over the years. Just look up there, you know. We practice in the Don Hudson Center. Bart Starr is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Reggie White basically invented free agency when he sued the league, and he got one of the greatest gunslingers of all time up there that just went up. So this is, you know, it's a special place to play.
It's amazing it all happened in a town of 104,000 people. Green Bay became a mecca. I was here a month ago, 27 different license plates of cars from states in the parking lot. Are you amazed sometimes when you go around the country that so many people love the Packers?
Well, I think we're a lovable bunch. because we are the small town group. You know, for the most part, we usually, you know, we're not a super flashy team. We never have been. We're a blue collar squad. Our fans are the same type of people. They're heavily invested in what we're doing. Some of them even personally invested to get a slip of paper that says that they're a team owner.
Yeah, there's 300,000
But
of
that's
those.
how, I mean, that's how all this came about.
Yeah.
You know, was all the stock that they sold. And this is a special place to play, and we love going on the road too, because we fill up the road stadiums. That's why we can never play in London, because nobody wants to give up a home game when Green Bay's coming to town, because you know that stadium's going to be filled. But we've had some pretty special moments on the road where, you know, we're running away with it late, and the "Go Pack Go" chants. I mean, it's one thing to do it here and to have that energy, you know, at the end of a game, but in somebody else's place, when the "Go Pack Go" chant is going all around the stadium, it's pretty special.
Now you've got this sort of perspective now, but in 05, 06, 07, when you're not playing, were you as happy to be in Green Bay?
Well, I was until maybe the winter hit. I mean, it was a culture shock for me on that front. You know, but once you get used to it, used to dealing with it, I think. I don't know if you ever get used to it, but once you get a little better at dealing with it, you realize what an advantage it can be for us in the wintertime, when you're just a little more accustomed to playing in the elements. And we've had a history of, over the years, of some big wins in some pretty rough weather games. So, but I always had it, you know, from the first moment I walked out of the tunnel, I did always have an appreciation for what kind of organization this is and the history of excellence. It's not like this any other place. I mean, some places that have a good history and a good organization, but there's an expectation here. There's a reason it's nicknamed Title Town, because if you don't win the title, it's a failure. It's a failed year.
So I got to ask you about Bart Starr. He's 84, you're 34. Basically a half century divides you. What unites you?
Well, for me, it was just a sincere appreciation for him reaching out in 2008. You know, when the changeovers happened with Brett, him and his wife Cherry started writing me letters that entire summer, training camp, during some tough times where, you know, Brett showed up here at family night and weren't sure whether he was coming back or not.
What were his letters saying?
Just super supportive and encouraging. That, you know, they were supporting me and praying for me and thinking about me, and that meant a lot to me. You know, I met him in 2006 at the Fan Fest that we had, and it was amazing. Him, Fuzzy, and Max, and Paul. I was just, you know, I was like, man, these are all the guys from my VHS tapes. It was pretty special. And we started a friendship then, and he would come back to some games the early years. But it always meant a lot to me to see him in a tunnel before and after a game after that point. I just felt a closeness to him because of him reaching out. He didn't have to. You know, he really didn't have to reach out to me at all, but he did, and it meant the world to me because I knew I had the support of one of the greatest players of all time and definitely one of the greatest Packers of all time.
And now that he has been battling some health issues after his stroke, I can tell you, because I saw him, every time you reach out, he has a great day. Every time there's a text or a note or something like that. Do you understand the impact you have on his life as well?
Well, it's about paying it back. It really is. And we have a great culture around here of really respecting the legends. You know, we bring them in, we take care of them. They're a part of what we're doing. You know, when we were going through our run in 2010, Willie Davis was with us the entire time. I mean, he was in the locker room with us, he was on the road with us, and he was kind of like our guy that year. You know, we love having the older generation around because that's what the Packers are all about. It's about family and organization and everybody respecting guys who played before. And Bart is that guy for me. That, you know, he is the perfect example of what it means to be an incredible player, but a better person. You know, I think he's a great role model for all of us, but even more when you're a Green Bay Packer and you realize how much he's meant to this community and then back home as well, to the folks in Alabama. To have people, when they talk about you, and I'm talking about Bart, to have people talk about what a great guy you are before with an incredible quarterback, I think is a dream of many players who play, because your reputation lasts longer than your body and lasts longer than the stats and the wins. But we wouldn't have this place if it hadn't been for a guy like that and the championships that they won and the Super Bowls and the MVPs that he won. But he is an incredible, incredible man, and he's been a great friend over the years.
So you're going to run out onto this field on Sunday night, leading the Packers into the first game of the next century. What are you going to feel like Sunday night when you do that?
Well, I think I'm going to feel proud. You know, this is one of the top positions in all the sports, I think. To be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, I think is a special position. And there's a few positions like this in sports that have this this kind of opportunity. You know, it really is. We feel like we are America's team. You know, other teams have kind of taken that mantra from time to time, but you know, we're just a blue-collar city with a team that's been around there for 100 years and been a part of some incredible parts of NFL history, and just proud to be a part of it. Realizing my role, there were plenty of guys who played before me, and there'll be plenty of guys who play after me, and keep this tradition going. But right now, in the present, I get the chance to lead this team, and to me, there's no better job in sports. You know, it is pretty cool, though, they let us out here. They're pretty specific game week.
You know, I'm with Aaron Rodgers after all.
Mm-hmm. You're Peter King.
Yeah, well,